Welcome to Chit Chat with Love Lady. As you know, from time to time we talk about some difficult topics. Today's topic we will talk about suicide. This video may not be the upbeat and perky, and it is not designed to be a sad and somber topic. It is an awareness topic. And just for the record, I'm not being sponsored to make this video, but this video is something that is necessary. So I want to first start out by directing anyone that knows someone that has contemplated suicide or thought about suicide to the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline. And that number is 1-800-273-8255. And we'll get into that conversation right after this. Remember, just because you're having the discussion do not mean you or those that you love is suicidal. It's all about being aware, as well as how can you help. Saying nothing or not discussing it do not make it go away, because suicide can happen to anyone at any time of all ages. So what I would like to do is, number one, talk about some warning signs. And before we get into the warning signs, if you know someone or indirect or direct that has contemplated or attempted suicide, whether they're family, friends, or just even yourself, leave me a comment. You do not have to self-identify if you choose not to, but if you do know of anyone that has went through the motion of suicide, whether they succeeded or not succeeded, leave a comment, share your story. Okay, so the first thing that we do want to talk about, again, and where as far as warning signs is the a person that is or could be suicidal, they could be pretty much like withdrawn, and sometimes it's not intentional, but and even to themselves they may not even realize that they're not being really sociable. So that's one of the things. And a person that I'm gonna move my camera because I don't know if you can see me, and let me turn on some lighting. I'm sorry for that particular distraction. Okay, so yes, I'm before we go any further, I do want you to understand that I do not profess that I am a psychologist or a professional, but I do have some experience in hands-on experience as far as my work and just being around situations. So I'm sharing you the knowledge that I've gained throughout the years of working around these situations and topics that we will be discussing. And this will be one of many on suicide that we will discuss. So you have to stay tuned. Share this video with someone, especially if you know that they've been through the motion. So or a family member or friends that you know that someone in their family is going through. Maybe it can help them. Okay, so let's get back into some signs and some symptoms. And I made some notes, so I'm going to be reading off my notes as well as talking to you directly, sharing experiences with you, so you can better relate, or it'll help you move ahead with this particular situation. So a person that is persistently dropping, their mood changes. Like, this person may be up here, and when you met them, and it was always full of life, and you just notice that their mood just keep going down. Like, it's just like they're always sad or something is going wrong. Okay, they disinterest in maintaining personal hygiene or appearance, and And I would say that's kind of like sometimes you may think that the disinterest is like being sloppy or not taking a bath. And that is a number one key thing. But also it may flip. That person that was always like dirty and filthy, they have a change. Sometimes it can go to where they start kind of trying to upkeep themselves, but it switches back. Like, okay, they're up and bubbly, so ooh, they're fixing themselves up now or whatever, and then maybe a couple of days later, you notice they kind of getting back into that I don't care mode on how I look. So that is that mood change as well. So one minute they're feeling upbeat, next minute they're feeling down. Something is wrong, or could be wrong. Never know. They just being reckless about their character. It's like they don't care what they say, what they do. Sometimes it's just like a cry for help, or they could just start all of a sudden just being belligerent. This person never used to be like that, or they could be always in I guess like always talking down about something. Okay. They diet change, they weight change, it fluctuates. It can go from being from a petite person, small frame person, to obese, large frame person, or vice versa. You have some people that they depress eat, they stress eat. If that's how they kind of cope with whatever's going on with them. They're eat to kind of like I don't care. And if you really listen to the things that we're talking about, all of it it coincides with each other. So yeah, they can kind of like just eat like a comfort food. Okay. Angry, they could be angry all the time. You're like, what the crap is this person angry about? They're always mad about something. As well as another sign is that they can't sleep. Okay. They're restless. They're always, tossing and turning, or they up all night or sleep all day. So those are some things, like I said, that you have to kind of watch. Excuse me. If you're not, it's overlooked. A lot of these things are overlooked. We see them, but we like, oh, ain't nothing wrong with that person. Everybody need a down day, or everybody need this. So sometimes those things are right in front of us, and we don't see whether they are happening to us personally, or whether they're happening to a loved one, a coworker. The signs be there, but sometimes we don't really pay attention to them because we think it's just normal. Okay. A person also will abuse alcohol, okay, or drugs. Sometimes people feel like if they get wasted or high, that it would kind of like make all whatever they're feeling go away. And in some cases, it may for a temporary period, but a person that abuses the alcohol or the drugs on a regular basis, they're trying to just keep it away. So they end up becoming an addict, okay? As well as, let's see, giving away sentimental, expensive possessions. And these are things that you would never thought they would give away, that they guard with their life. Okay, so those are some of the immediate, like, right in your face. Okay, and I do want to say, like, with the last one, I have heard of people doing that. They'll start giving away stuff. Like, cause, and when they're doing it, you're not really thinking like, okay, why are they giving away this? You're not thinking about that. You're just like, oh, okay, well, thank you. I'll take care of it, whatever. You're just not thinking that this person is contemplating suicide. To them, it's no more value to them. They know that they're not going to use it anymore. It doesn't mean anything else to them. Therefore, and all along that they're contemplating suicide. And some of those things you do not think about until after that attempt is made, whether it succeed or fail. So those few things that we just discussed and the signs, I want you to kind of think about those. And we have more signs to discuss. But for this particular video, I wanted to jump it off with that list of things, signs that you can look into, contemplate on, think about. Have you seen signs of that in some of your close friends, your family, your children, depend at your workplace? So if you have, leave it in a comment. If you have seen any of that before, that was one of the signs that you think you missed in someone that that's very close to you, is that one of the signs that you missed before they attempted or succeeded with suicide? Feel free to share. You do not have to share, but leave a comment. What do you think about this topic? We will discuss part 2. And it's like, again, this is going to be a series of discussions on this topic because it's a conversation that needs to be had. I hope you enjoyed the topic. I hope you enjoy the conversation. If you do, give this video a thumbs up. If you have not subscribed, please subscribe and hit the notification bell so you can always know when Chit Chat with Love Lady will be putting out a new video. Have a great day, guys. So we just talked about nonverbal signs of a person that is or could be suicidal. So we call those nonverbal expressions. So now we're going to talk about indirect verbal expressions. And they're things that's pretty much like the obvious. Feeling hopelessness. Have you ever seen that person or a person that always express hopelessness? They may tell you, why do it? It doesn't make no sense. It's not going to make a difference, or that's just a hopeless thought. I don't care. It's like, why keep trying and it's not going to work? Well, you got to be careful. When you hear a person saying stuff like that, it could be a possibility that something is not right, And I'm not saying, just saying it one time. I'm saying just like every time you're talking about something, you could be talking about it in a positive way or a way to better a situation. And every time that person speak on it or in conversation with you about something, and they always just talking the negative about it, like it doesn't matter, So that is a good indirect sign. Okay. Failure to see the future. Some people just feel that nothing is never going to change, or they always saying that they can't think that far ahead, or they don't feel like it's a future for them. It's a constant downer on them when you're talking about, I want to go in another year, so I want to go on this trip, da 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 da. And the person that you're talking to could be like, I ain't gonna be here that long, or why are you thinking ahead? It's just always a negative on your positive. Okay. One thing that I have heard so many times, and I'm guilty of not just really having this conversation with a person. Not saying that person attempted, but who knows? At least that I know of, they haven't attempted suicide. But I always feel like that burden on someone else. They feel like, they just dead weight. Okay? Saying that they're feeling worthless or alone, mental abuse, physical abuse could bring that on. Someone that's been abused so much or heard it so much, you ain't this and this and that. They start feeling worthless or alone, or they feel like whatever they try is not a success, or they're not being recognized for it. So they start feeling worthless, or like they're in it by themselves. So those are things that also we need to pay attention to. Um, the last thing for us, the indirect verbal expression that we need to look out for, um, talking about death and wanting to die. That is like, bing, that's the very obvious, that something is wrong. And you do have some people that is contemplating or have contemplated suicide where they failed it. Of course, they failed it if they're talking to you. But you have had people to say that they want to die, or they're going to try. When you hear that conversation, then it's pretty much one of those things where that conversation needs to be talked about right then with them. Even if it's uncomfortable, it can be a touchy situation, touchy conversation. But when a person tell you that they want to die, then that's when you have to start asking the hard questions. So this was the conclusion of the signs and symptoms that a person could be suicidal. They're not all the signs, but because signs can vary amongst different people, everyone. But just the fact that these are some of the basic things that are overlooked, that you say after the fact, how did I miss this? You missed it because you was afraid to have that conversation. No matter how small it seemed, when a person starts showing you any of these signs, a good friend, a good family member, a good mom or dad, sister or brother, when you see these signs, no matter how big they are or seem to you, have that conversation. It may be one question, and sometimes one question goes into 2 and 3, but if you're afraid to have that conversation, just refer them to the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline. And again, I'm going to give you that number. That number is 1-800-273-8255. I hope you're enjoying this discussion, not in a laughter moment, but in I'm learning something about suicide moment. Again, leave me some comments. If you have any experience and you want to share, whether they're indirect or directly, whether it's someone that you know on the outside of your family, inside of your family, you do not have to use names, but this is about making people aware of the signs of what could be a person that is contemplating suicide. So again, I am chit-chatting with Lovelady, with Lovelady's Garden Projects and more. We're having the conversation that others do not care to share. Again, hit that like button. Subscribe if you have not. Hit the notification bell so you can always know when Chit Chat with Lovelady is about to release a new video.